Good morning, guys. Welcome to my Monday morning rant for Monday, the 4th of October, 2021. Feel really good about last week's rant. Got a fair bit of good feedback, both in the comments. So thank you very much, guys, who left a comment, and also from friends who've reached out about it. And I feel like it's been a while since I had a really good rant, and yeah, like I mentioned, these things are really cathartic for me, and just getting it out is it's always been a good thing for me. Nothing much to talk about this week. I have been doing nothing much but gaming a lot. So this is going to be a rant about New World, which is a game developed by Amazon. And yes, that Amazon, as in Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Now, this game has been in development for quite some time, and they've delayed the launch of it for a good year or so, and had a couple of betas, and people were putting in hundreds of hours into the betas, and I'd seen a lot of game footage on YouTube and on Twitch, and as much as I love the MMO genre, and I'm excited that there's a new MMO to play, and that it doesn't look like the genre is dying anytime soon. Personally, I was never impressed with what I saw. Stylistically, I just thought that sort of colonial sort of setting, it reminds me of like Greedfall and other games that I've played, and there's nothing magical about it. It just looks old, feels old, and there's not so much fantasy about it, you know. And hey, but hey, you know, that's fine. But also just how janky the movement looks, like when you're running in a straight direction and then you turn left or turn right. It's just got this really janky sort of animations, and it just looks really, really loose and really weird. And anyways, I decided to give it a go. I was really on the fence about it for a long time. A couple of mates bought it, and ultimately I just hit the buy now button. It was only $56, which is it's a really good price, actually. Like, you know, with an MMO you're going to get hundreds of hours at least, and for $56 it seems like good value. But how an MMO can sustain itself without MMOs being service based, it's interesting to have a $56 price tag and have, you know, the same things to do over and over again. And how are we going to be able to play 3 months in, 6 months in, a year in, if it's based on such a small initial investment? But there is no monthly service, which is great, because I fucking hate games, the concept of having to pay like $20-30 a month. But I also understand it for a service-based game. You know, the developers need to be paid to keep developing content every week, to make it fresh every week and something new to do every week, as opposed to do the set same things every single week with some randomization thrown in there. It's just it's probably not going to be sustainable. But you know, I put 2 hours into the game, which is what Steam lets you do. Steam is the platform where you buy games for PCs, and the main platform, and you know, they offer this. You can play a game for 2 hours, and if you don't like it, you can get a full refund, no questions. And so I put 2 hours in, and on launch, there were 1 million players played this game. The highest concurrent number was something like 700,000 players at the one time online, and it completely broke their servers, and which is sort of not surprising. But people were queuing up for like 8 to 10 hours to get in to play, and the queuing counts as game time too. So there goes your potential to refund. I'm sure people still got a refund if they complained and left a message to say, hey, I haven't played for 2 hours. I've been in a fucking queue for 2 hours. So I'm sure people will still manage to get refunds, even though the game time was like probably 10 hours, but actually they were in a queue for like 8 hours. So yeah, the game's copped a lot of hate because Amazon obviously is a massive company, and they're actually known for having amazing servers for hosting Netflix and whatever else, and for them to have such an oversight and not have enough servers going to actually let people play their game on launch. It's quite unforgivable, to be honest. And a lot of people are like, well, you got to expect these things. Well, yes and no. I mean, you got to expect that if you pay $56 for a game, that you'd be able to play it, right? Another weird thing is it's a huge map. It's a huge world. I don't know why they call it New World. It looks really old. It looks like an old MMO. It looks like a mobile phone game. It looks a lot like Bless Unleashed and other games. There's a lot of copy pasting. A lot of the insides of houses and the towns literally look exactly the same as another. And that lack of polish and detail is really evident when you put in a few hours. But yeah, it's a huge map, and they've made it so that you spawn in a completely random place on the map. So if you want to play with your friends, which is kind of what MMOs is all about, right? Like playing an MMO with your friends is fun. Sadly, you can't all start in the same area, which is so fucking weird. Like, your friend could be on the other side of the map, and so for the first maybe 20 levels or so, 15 levels or so, you're going to have to do it by yourself and at some point meet up with them. Or you could spend like 30, 40 minutes trying to traverse from where you are to where they are, which is a big ask considering when you start out with no power at all. And as soon as you start walking, you're going to come across some probably tough enemies that would just one-shot you, and that would be pretty frustrating. So I thought that was a really weird decision. And what's even more frustrating is they've made it so that like the servers are so full and people can't get in at all. So they've made it so that the servers that are full, that have 2,000 or 2,500 players on that server, they've locked people out from creating new characters on these servers. So what's happened with our group of friends is 3 of us are on one server, and my mate Hawk bought the game and tried to create a character on our server, and he's been locked out. And so now he can't even play with us at all. Apparently they're working on a fix for this. But again, it's just 2 massive whammies within the first week of launch. 1, you don't start playing the game with your friends. 2, a lot of people have friends that can't get onto their servers, and so they can't play with them at all. Savage mistakes to make, I think. But it's interesting. What I find fascinating is that it's like the number 1 most played game on Steam at the moment. So what it really says to me is that there are so many people in the current state of the pandemic and lockdowns and stuff, and they're all so hungry to dig into a brand new MMO. MMOs being a game type that you can put thousands of hours into. You can no life these games. You can play them all day long, every day, for years. And it's an interesting reflection that I have on like just the state of the world and how so many people are hungry for a new experience where they can go on a new adventure. And the title, like I suppose calling it New World, is really smart in that way, in that people are looking to escape and get lost in something. And it's funny what people are doing in this game. Like they're spending hours, hundreds of hours, just chopping down trees or fishing. I mean, the fishing mini game isn't even great. I mean, really, for $53, $56, you can go out and get a fishing rod and start fishing. Even the fishing license isn't expensive. But it's fascinating when you really think about it. It's like putting in hundreds of hours into mining, chopping down trees, gathering, fishing. It's twisted, hey. it's funny, and it's somehow strangely therapeutic. I get it. It's like you're ranking up your as the you start off chopping down small trees, and then you rank up to a point where you can chop down sort of medium-sized trees, and then after like 5,000 of those, you can chop down big trees. Um, yeah, it's really bizarre, but one thing that the game lacks is story, right? Like story is usually expected in most games you play. And this is one game that there is no story whatsoever. And I sort of get it. Like, I think on launch, well, when they first initially created this game, they intended it to be a PvP focused game. So you're meant to fight other players and you're meant to gank other players. And PvP is nasty, man. Like it's not a good vibe thing. It's like it's it's a really trolly kind of environment. Like you don't get killed by people and then just happily go, oh, GG's guys, thanks, have a good one. It's like you get really mad, you get really upset, you get really frustrated, and people get really, it's really intense. PvP is really intense, like killing computer enemies. That's all very predictable, but humans aren't. And there's proximity chat in this as well, much like the Division. And I just remembered with PvP in the Dark Zone in the Division, there were some really tense moments, and people were racist. People were just abusing each other, and like people lose it. You got a microphone there, someone kills you, or someone's trying to kill you, or you're killing somebody else, and the things that people say. It's fucking intense, but this is what this game is meant to be all about. So the story has come second, but at the same time, they're banning people left, right, and center. Within this first week, so many people have gotten a 24-hour ban for saying in chat, like someone said titties, someone said boobies, someone called somebody else a bottom feeder, and they got banned. And it doesn't come with the territory, man. Like if you're gonna have intense PvP battles, people are gonna say shit, and to get banned for saying that shit, maybe don't make that kind of game. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, there's a lot going on with this game. I decided to refund it 2 hours in, but then some of the boys were like, fuck. Well, Hawkes specifically was like, well, he's still looking for a co-op game that we can all play. We're all a little bit over Destiny 2. So we're looking for something new to play. And this is it. This is the only thing that's new. It's got a huge buzz around it. There's a new world video being uploaded every hour of the day onto YouTube. There's a billion guides out there and opinions on it, and so many people are having so much fun in this game. And I think the people that are having the most fun in the game are the ones that are being trolls in the game. They're ganging up with friends and ganking lower level PvP players in lower level zones. It's mostly PvP. I think the guys who are doing the more hardcore end game PvP stuff are having the most fun in this game. Which makes me think, like, do I want to potentially have fun in this game by being a troll? Not really, but I do agree that, hey, it could be really fun. So I'm giving it another go. I've put 6.5 hours in, and yeah, I don't know if my thoughts are any different on it. PvE wise, it's pretty standard, kind of like go here, kill this many enemies. Then go all the way back and turn your quest in for some XP, or go here, loot 5 chests, and then go all the way back to town to hand in your quest for XP. And it's the same loop over and over again. As soon as you turn your quest in, there's more quests to pick up, and they're exactly the same so far, 100% exactly the same. And again, I just don't think that's going to be sustainable going forwards. I can't imagine myself 3-6 months in, still doing exactly the same thing. But yeah, another thing I'm playing is Final Fantasy 14, which I've heard a lot about over the years, and people go on and on about how amazing the story is in that game. And yeah, fuck, that game is, I don't know, it's for me either. Like, it graphically, it's not great. It looks old, feels old. The UI is really clunky. Bitsy and all over the shop, and the it starts off really slow. The questing is super slow. And I've gotten to a point where like I did uninstall it, I reinstalled it again, and now I'm finally getting to some story stuff. Like I'm level 30 something. And I've also watched a lot of streamers play this game, and I've seen them break down crying, guys and girls both. Just there's so much involvement that people have with the story and the characters. You know, the characters being the main thing, right? Like you end up really loving these characters, and it's such Japanese culture, man. It's so fascinating. Like they know how to make you fall in love with a character, and then they'll go and kill him, and yeah, then you break down fucking crying, and or they've made an enemy of someone, and you fucking hate this enemy, and you kill them, and then you hear a backstory about how the enemy came to be, and you end up sympathizing with the enemy that you've just killed. And it's fascinating because it's such Japanese culture to me. It's like it's that whole concept of forgiveness and acceptance, and the idea that not all bad people are bad, and all bad people started out as good people. And it's interesting, like what kind of game would you rather play? One where it makes you see the good in people when you're playing it, and you start to, when you're not playing it, think about life differently, and think about your friends differently, and a game that tugs on those emotions, you know, real emotions, human emotions, or a game by Amazon being a fucking nasty corporate that's all about world domination. You know, the game is about world domination, just like Amazon is. It just wants to fucking own you. It wants to own fucking everyone. The whole concept of New World, the whole point of the game is to just own all the territories and dominate. You know, you fucking use all the resources, chop down every motherfucking tree, and outfish every fucking river, and fucking just kill everything you see. Everything that moves, fucking kill it. Whether it's animals, monsters, or other players. And yeah, you just eventually will be king shit because you own every single territory on the map. And then you can fucking tax everybody. Everybody just suffers, except for you if you own the map. So yeah, I don't know. Two completely different developers, two completely different cultures, two MMOs that are completely different to each other. But yeah, it's kind of almost a reflection on the state that the world is in right now. And I'm not hating on the game. I've put up some negative comments here and there about what I think about the game underneath other videos, and I've copped so much hate from people who are sensitive to negative feedback. You know, I mean, if you're enjoying a game and somebody else is sitting there dissing it, who gives a shit? That's their problem, right? But it doesn't work that way on the internet. You know, people are really defensive, super defensive about the shit that they love. But yeah, I'm giving it another go. I'm still in there. I'm probably going to jump on after this and yeah, chop some more trees down and fish and do stupid shit like that and level up. I do like leveling up in games. I do like the concept of getting more and more powerful as you go along. So in regards to that, it's got it down pat. The UI is nice too. As a designer, I'm really fussy about UIs, and the UI is quite good. Just the world that I'm in, I can just see the cookie cutter stuff. I see a lack of detail. I haven't once seen the weather change to a point where there's rain. There's no rain as far as I know. The character creation is just one of the ugliest character creators I've probably ever seen in the game. I don't know what the go is with that. Maybe it went through some sort of board of people that, like, you know, you can't like you can't create a beautiful character because that wouldn't be right in the world that we live in today. And you know, there's no such customization as like a body sliders. Everyone's exactly got the same body. So what happens is if you go to a town in the game, everyone kind of just looks the same. There is no fantasy to this, you know. And MMOs, in my opinion, are meant to be about an escape. You create the alternate you, the character that you wanna look like, you wanna be like. There's none of that. There's none of that in this. But yeah, I'm done with ranting about it. I'm just going to keep playing it. Hopefully, in the next week or so, Amazon will figure out a way for um, friends, to be able to play with their friends. Because if they don't, the game is going to be fucked. I'm already annoyed that I can't play with my mates. Um, yeah, but I know they'll sort that out. But whether it's a game that I'm going to feel right about putting in hundreds of hours into, whether I feel it's going to be rewarding, we'll have to see. If you know, if you're not having fun in a game, you should probably quit. I don't know how much fun I'm having in it. I'm still on the fence. But I am still willing to give it more of a go, especially if I can play it with my friends. So, on that note, guys, I'm going to bail out. Have a good week. I've got a picnic on this afternoon too with Nick Turner and his girl CC. So I'm actually really excited about that. I haven't really been following the whole lockdown rules, but apparently 5 people can have a picnic. So we got 5 people. It looks like a beautiful day. So, um, I don't know. I'm actually excited about it, and I hope we do end this lockdown really soon because I'm over it. And yeah, I shall catch you guys in the next one. See yous.